animal and as a cereal. Okay, so it's just kind of to get ourselves, people ask you if you're reps and presidents all the time, well, what is FAWCO?
It's Fruit Loops, yeah?
Yeah, it's Fruit Loops, and actually, and so the images that came up helped us to start thinking a little bit out of the box about how we would respond to these questions, so that what came out of here, which was interesting, was the dichotomy between international and American. So there was international, world, global, those kinds of words, and at the same time American. We had some interesting, under these feelings, there were things like challenge, overwhelming, responsibility, heavy stuff. And at the same time, if you go through all that heaviness, you come out with joy and passion and sharing and excitement. So there was a dichotomy there, that on one side, it's work. No, we have to overcome overwhelming amount of information and feel challenged, etc. But on the other side, we also have all of these really nice emotions. What was interesting, I thought, about the animals is that they're all birds. So we had like a bird, an eagle, a hawk, a mother hen, but kind of this idea of seeing things from a bigger perspective, I think, flying over and getting a bigger view. We also had a kangaroo and a teddy bear and a lion, so exotic animals. The cereal, the Fruit Loops was kind of good, and usually was the fact that there's lots of different things mixed all together. So that was interesting. And then there was the American context again, like cornflakes and Wheaties and breakfast of champions, someone said, etc. So anyway, so this is the first exercise that we did just to get ourselves thinking a little bit more out of the box about what FAWCO is. Then we define, okay, here we are here. Okay, then we started on the storytelling project, each of us capturing a moment I gave them 3 questions. A moment at which you felt really proud to be a part of FAWCO, or you felt really inspired by what was going on around you at FAWCO, or you were really touched personally by an experience that you witnessed through FAWCO. Or if you were new rep just joining, you say, well, what attracted you to take on this position? So this is what we came up with. Then everyone had great fun creating an image about their story. So they were personal stories. It wasn't like, wow, FAWCO's really neat because they go and do those things. No, this was about something that affected you quite personally. So a personal individual story of something that happened to you within FAWCO that made you feel a part of this organization and quite proud to be a part of this organization. Okay, so we have like an image, then we had cut and paste time, and had an image on one side, and everyone wrote up their individual story on the other side and signed them. Anybody at the end of today, anyway, so I will pass over to the second half of the program. I just wanted to let you know what these were and how they came about. If anybody at the end of today wants to add their personal story to, well, they'll be explaining to, these are our, let's say, theoretical quilt pieces, and we're going to be building a collaborative story out of all of your individual stories that you can go back and describe what is FAWCO. And if you want to join, if you would like to add your story, I still have colored paper, pens, and scissors, and some old magazines sitting on the chair right there. Okay, and the chair right there. So if anybody over the next day or two would like to add to this collage, add to this quilt, you're welcome to. So this Lori Richardson, who is the incoming 3rd Vice President and lives in Vienna, brought our today's outside expert to lead you in this exercise. She ran into us, so I wanted to let her. She was instrumental in bringing Janine to FAWCO, and I will let her introduce Janine and give you a little bit about her background story, and then we'll give her the floor and let her get to work.
Quick. Hi, everybody. I'm going to tell a very quick story about how I came to meet Janine Bruchen. Last October, I was in Prague for a weekend. It's a story about women and networks and how powerful those are. We keep hearing these stories over and over again, but I was visiting a cousin of mine who invited a friend of hers from London. So we had a person from South Africa, a person from Vienna, and a person from London together for a weekend, 3 women. And I was challenged at that time to come up with the resolutions and recommendations that I presented the other day. And I found them very dry and really not very interesting to work with. So I was asking this woman I met, Victoria Ward from London, who is a specialist in storytelling and using storytelling to unlock some of the creative and emotional side of our connection to our organizations. And she helped me come up with what we did at Region 5 in Augsburg in November at the regional meeting, which was very powerful for all of us there to be thinking about what FAWCO really is. What does FAWCO really mean to us? A couple of months later, then I learned that my new friend, Victoria, who taught me some amazing things, I mentioned to her that I was going to be in Bern, Switzerland in March for a meeting of this organization, and she said, oh, I worked in Bern with Janine Brutschen, and we worked together in the Swiss Development Corporation on storytelling in organizations. And one thing led to another, as they do, and we contacted each other, and then when this, Milen and the other conference organizers were looking for somebody to give us a session on FAWCO and how we connect to FAWCO, I had the opportunity then to invite Janine to come and speak with us. Just briefly, Janine is a facilitator and a trainer who uses open space technology and storytelling and other participatory methods to empower people to become more creative and to think differently about themselves and their relationship to their organization. She trains groups in systemic constellation work, which I'm not really sure what that is, but I'm sure it's good, and nature therapy, which I am ready to sign up for some of your workshops here in the mountains and in Morocco and places like that for women. Janine was born in Switzerland, of Swiss Thai heritage, and studied geography and has a master's degree from the University of Bern. She focused on qualitative research and narrative techniques. So not all those numbers. She uses these methods to support people to tell their own stories and connect across hierarchies. She worked with the Novartis Foundation for Sustainable Development and with the Swiss Agency for Development Cooperation on storytelling in different organizational cultures and to enrich the experience that people had of their own work life. And I just would like Janine to tell you her story now.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me. It's really a great opportunity, and it's also special because we did this workshop together. Elizabeth prepared already, so this is also special for me that I can come into this conference and we do this together. And if you have been to the panel discussion before, maybe you will take a step out of this with me, because now you're doing this together. I'm not giving a speech, but I give you, let's say, 5 minutes. I'm telling you my story. It's my story with storytelling. Maybe it's a little bit a love story, and how this came about. And it was back in 2003 when I worked for the Swiss Development Corporation, when I was a communication and knowledge manager there, and I was invited to attend a 3-day Train the Trainers workshop for storytelling. I had not much idea what this is about, but it sounded interesting, and the idea was also that I should use this afterwards in my daily work. And just with these ideas, open-minded, I went to this workshop. So the facilitator was Sparkna, as Laurie was telling you, the woman she met. And they decided to do a learning by doing training. So we tried out many different methods, and just to see what is the effect on myself when I use this method. And well, when I think back, it was not one method or one moment that really inspired me, but it was like from the beginning until the end, the atmosphere changed in the room. And I say it was like a soft carpet, and it stayed until the very end. And for example, the second day was very difficult. Some people didn't understand the approach, and they got discontent with the workshop. And somehow the carpet was still there, and we could rest on it, we could stand on it. And then Spark Now came up with a different program for day 3, so the workshop ended as a rich learning experience. So I really saw that it is something that difficult things can show up. So storytelling helps, and it helps us to really listen and maybe see different perspectives, and we don't have to say immediately, oh, this is right or wrong, but we can just listen. And somehow it really helped to bring people in a mood of cooperation, and I was fascinated by that. And that's why I call this story a soft carpet to stand on. That is my time for the story. But I also learned that there are different techniques, and it's just not just telling a story, but it's very complex. You have things to look back in the past. You have methods that are for creating a vision for the future, or really look at what is present here at the moment. So I'm still learning, and I still love it because I can be creative with it, and it's playful. So it creates an atmosphere of joy and openness, and I invite you to come with me in this atmosphere and that we play and be creative together. So first we have to get a little bit organized. I think, Elizabeth, do you have the... Yes.
I think
so,
let's see how many people. Yes, we have 15. Okay, because we have 15 stories that we developed on Wednesday. So why don't we take the number of people divided by 15? You can count